Good day. Welcome. This is your Daily Med with Lady V. Grace and peace be multiplied to you. Today our lesson comes to us from Psalm 77, verse 1 through 10, where the man of God, you remember the good old days. Say, in a time of great distress, the psalm writer Asaph, he begins to sigh. He recalls the good old days and wondered why God had seemingly forgotten his people. We are comforted through the hard times by remembering God's help, by remembering his goodness, that which he did in the past. And we would normally say if he had done it before, he will do it again. So when Asaph remembered the miracles and the precious work that God did for the children of Israel, he took courage so that he could continue. So when we look at Psalm 77, verse 1 through 10, he says, I cry out to God for help. I cry out to you, God, listen to me. My Lord, in my time of trouble, I came to you. He says, I thought about you, God, and tried to tell you how I feel, but I could not. You would not let me sleep. I tried to say something, but I was too upset. I kept thinking about the past, about things that happened long ago. During the night, I thought about my songs. I talked to myself, trying to understand what is happening. I wondered, has our Lord rejected us forever? Will he ever accept us again? Is his love gone forever? Will he never again speak to us? Has God forgotten what mercy is? Has his compassion changed to anger? Then I said to myself, what bothers me most is the thought that God Most High has lost his power. You and I know God has not lost his power to help us. You and I know that God will help us. He's our present help in the time of trouble. So we see that this psalm writer was sighing as he poured out his tale of woe to God. It seems that some unnamed trouble has come to camp. Trouble in his life, trouble that he did not understand. It was on his doorsteps, and so it caused him misery whenever he thinks about it. But let us remember that God is not finished. He is still taking care of us. No one and nothing can hinder God from taking care of his people. So in spite of problems, in spite of unceasing prayer, in spite of our complaint, in spite that we think that comfort has eluded us, because this psalm writer said it in verse 2. He says, in time of trouble I came to you. I reach out for you all night long, but my soul refused to be comforted. Many times it seems as if we can't find any comfort. And so the psalm writer finds himself in an unusual situation where thoughts of God cause him to mourn instead of to rejoice. The more he meditates, the more sadness he feels. And he is wondering to himself, why am I sad? I can't put my finger on what is going on. What is causing this sadness? Then he says, blaming my acute insomnia. I can't sleep. I'm putting it on God alone. Words fail him to express the anguish of his spirit. And when that takes place in our lives, that is when we sigh. He seeks comfort in remembering the good old days when things were going smoothly. When this, so he's saying, what is the source now of my distress? Was it doubt? Was he occupied with himself? He's looking at all these things, but at the same time, he's trying to seek some victory within. And the more he begins to doubt the kindness and the goodness of God, these things, like the doubt, assail him, and he can't find the words to explain what he is going through. So therefore he has some unbelieving questions. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe things are going the way it is with me. So Asaph find himself sighing. Then at one point he find himself sinking. And sometimes that is what happened to us. The more we think about what's going on with us, the more we are sinking in despair. The situation in which we are, it becomes frightening. And so he was now saying, God must be finished with him for good. In his sinking, he asks if God has ceased to love him. He wonders if the Lord has scrapped his promise again, the promise that he had made. So again and again, these impertinent thoughts crossed his mind, that perhaps God had forgotten him. God has forgotten to be gracious to him. And finally he asks, God, are you angry with me? Are you going to cut us off forever? Where is the flow of your compassion? Where is your help? Where is your love? Where is mercy? But he was able to answer those questions for himself. He is saying, okay, the right hand of the Most High has changed. All his glory can be traced. And then he says, listen, I'm going to remember the goodness of God. God's attitude towards me is nothing but miracles. It's nothing but mercy. It is nothing but faithfulness that has sustained me and has sustained Israel. And he began to remember, yes, we were in difficulties at some time, and God took us out. They knew that God was capable and trustworthy if he would have but put his trust in God. So many times we sigh because we can't find the words to express what we feel, what we are going through. But like Esau, we can rise from sighing. We can rise from sinking and look at what God has done in the past. The Bible tells us the same God who has begun a good work in us will see us through to its completion. Many times we are looking at the situation that we are in, but let us look far above the situation that we are in. Let us look at the big picture. Let us look at who God is, knowing that he can do anything, that nothing is impossible with him. So when we meet new trials, when the test and the temptations come, let us review good God has been to us in the past, and it will strengthen our faith. It did for this psalm writer, and it will do for us when we rehearse his goodness. God bless you. Thank you again for watching. Please comment. Please like. Please share. Also, please subscribe. It is free. And continue to visit my YouTube channel, Daily Med with